Welcome to I Read It Online by TFB Supplies for January 17th, 2022. Joining me as always, Ben and Amanda. I am Tyler. These are Reddit topics that only Ben has seen, and we will discuss whatever these random Reddit topics are. Ben, what is first on the list for today?
The first one is, what's the most aggressively human name you could give a pet?
Aggressive
Human name?
Yeah. So, I don't know why. I feel like anytime you give a pet any human name is aggressive. Like Patrick or like Ronald.
I
Like,
truly was gonna say Patricia. Patricia!
I was thinking Spike. 'Cause
Oh.
Once in a while, like movies, I don't think in real life, but
Yeah.
movies have like a guy named Spike.
usually the bully's named like
Yeah.
Spike or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I feel like human names in general for pets are they just sound aggressive. Especially if you add in first and last name, or if you name it after somebody like the president, like Joe Biden, get in here.
Look, we have a Hannah, a Charlie, we have a John, and then Cricket, our dog. My sister, when she's mad at us, she'll go, Cricket Marie, and I'm like,
That
where
middle
did you
name is-
get that? You know,
Yeah.
Your animals have middle names? Ours have middle names.
they just have a lot of names each.
First, middle, and last name, just like the person.
Huh. No, I have two dogs, Ray and Rebel, as we call it, and we have 3 cats, Marcella, Mordecai, and Salvador.
Those are kind of long names to say routinely.
Fancy name.
Yeah, well, like
Yeah.
the cat, like Salvador, I call him Sal a lot of times.
I call him Chopper Dow.
Yeah,
He's my favorite.
That's kind of a cool name.
yeah. I don't know. I wanted to name him El Chapo, but my wife wasn't having that.
We call him Chappie for short.
Yeah, she said that might have been in poor taste, so I was like, all right, you're right.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But anyways, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other, like, I think Spike is a good one, like one of those, maybe Richard?
Called Dick for short, probably.
Richard Johnson, or
Okay.
I don't know. You have any aggressive names?
The first one that came to my mind was Patricia, just because that's
Why?
weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like,
Patty,
Patricia.
something
I
like
think
that.
it would be, it depends on what's your definition of an aggressive human name. Like, what would be aggressive? Like,
Well, the weird thing, you ever think about the thoughts behind names? Because you name someone obviously right after they're born, super young, like you
Yeah.
don't really know anything about them yet, but you give them these names, and they grow older, and you think, well, it's like a really cool name. That's like an aggressive name,
Yeah.
like a pretty name, like a submissive name. All these things. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird. You take these gambles like 20, 30 years ahead of time.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
for
just
sure.
also, like, you cannot force nicknames on pets, because, we all have a nickname. It's not their actual name, but it's just what we call them. But, like, you can't force that on pets. Like, nicknames are something that just kind of come, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
like there's no reason for it. It just rolls off the tongue.
And you
it's
can't
like-
give yourself a nickname.
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
for the dog, they can't give themselves a nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And usually it's
Call me
like
this instead.
jumbled stuff. It's not like
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Because, like, we have a Bernese mountain dog. My wife likes to call her Buffalo. Makes really no sense. I mean, she has a lot of hair, like, she's big and stuff like that, but doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But she likes it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like, but now aggressive, I just think most names for pets just sound aggressive, especially, I think it depends on how you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like your first point, like when you were yelling Patricia, or when you put a lot of emphasis into the name, it's going to be
I
aggressive.
was gonna say Steven, but then my cousin does have a cat named Steven. And it doesn't seem aggressive, I don't
Yeah.
know.
And that's your dad's name, so is that an aggressive name?
Yeah.
For a dog, I
Steven
think.
Brown.
I would say for any pet, yes, that would be aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I had a cat named Tyler too when I was a kid.
Yeah, I feel like I hear Ben a lot for dogs. A lot of dogs named
Benji
Ben.
or
You see it in
something?
movies. You see
Benji is a movie series from like the 80s about dogs.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember that? Those
Yeah,
movies?
was it a book?
Maybe first.
I remember the
first.
movie called Gentle Ben was about a bear that like killed everybody but this one kid.
The
one.
Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh, yes.
That's human though.
Yeah, it's human, yeah.
Barely the age back reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he,
very-
Yeah.
was he human? I don't know.
I never watched that. It seems really strange.
It was strange. It was strange because like with the different aging in the movie, like because he's with like Courtney, whatever woman, I forget, it's been like 10 years. But you know, as she's aging, typically, and he's in reverse, right? So like they lined up at like one point in their lives where they were kind of the same age, which that makes plenty of sense in an age appropriate kind of style. But the other ages just seem weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a lot to follow. It also sounds depressing too.
It's like, you ever seen
Yeah.
You've probably seen Twilight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like what's the werewolf dude, like he imprints on like a little kid.
Yeah,
and
that's
it wasn't
weird.
like gross, it seemed tasteful for the situation, but it seemed like a weird situation.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, when you think about it like that, yeah, that's definitely weird.
Why would you want any adult male like pair bonding with a baby or a young child?
Right.
It
Right.
just seems so strange.
The age gap. So
Can't wait till you're a teenager.
They were saying too, like that. I do like the movies, first one especially, but like how it's set like young girls up for unrealistic expectations in the world of romance. Because some of the dialogue is so heavy-handed. It's like, there aren't enough days in eternity to be with you.
yes.
Like
That is every romantic movie ever.
I have that feeling about a lot of romantic, like a lot of romance movies. You watch them and you're just like, yeah, dating,
so
marriage,
boring.
it doesn't really work.
That's
that
an
nice.
interesting point for a
Yeah.
man-woman thing, because there's lots
Yeah.
of things where you think like, the flip side of that is if you're like a funny lead actor in a movie,
Yeah,
you suddenly end up always getting a super, super hot woman.
yeah,
And you can be ugly as all get out
yeah.
and all this. And that's like, I think, an unrealistic expectation for a lot of guys. Like, well, I guess if you just do this, you'll just always get a hot woman.
Yeah.
Hashtag Pete Davidson.
Yeah,
He gets all the hot chicks.
he does.
He does. No, that was a debate. Remember when the movie Knocked Out with Seth Rogen came out and Katherine Heigl?
Mhm.
When that came out, that was like all over. It was like how that movie was unrealistic because how somebody that like
Looks like
Seth
him.
Rogen would be able to.
Although
give us
funny dudes,
that.
they do, like on the number scale,
Yeah.
if you could be super funny, I'm not a female or attracted to males, but I think it probably puts you up a couple notches
Yes.
if you're like a super funny dude.
100%.
Yeah, I think it kind of tells you above and beyond most dudes if you're funny.
Yeah.
But I think because I just think when personality,
Mhm.
like being funny doesn't hurt.
And it's like the rock stars. You look at now it's I think it's harder for men and for women to become like a famous rock star, pop star if you're not classically attractive than before. But rewind like 20, 30 years ago,
Yeah.
like some of these rock stars that are like banging a different chick in every city every night for months,
Yeah.
and they're like disfigured by typical standards.
They're
You think,
like
I guess
disfigured.
it's that charisma on stage,
Yeah.
fame, money. I don't.
Yeah.
Beauty standard, it's wild to watch them change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
What was next on our list?
Okay, the next one is what is an adult problem nobody prepared you for? One that immediately comes to mind for me is skin tags. No one told me all the amount of skin tags you get when you
Right.
no one, you know what I'm saying? Like they just randomly and like you know.
Do you clip them off?
No, I just leave them
I
be.
don't either. It
I just,
scares me.
I just leave them be. I know you're supposed to go and get them like get screened for possible whatever, but like you can do a simple Google search and tell. Now I don't recommend anyone doing this. But this is what I do. I just do a Google search and just know what a skin tag looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a skin.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what's the question again?
That is, what is an adult problem nobody prepared you for?
Okay.
There's an answer to this that it comes up every single time it's asked, and it is thinking about what to make for dinner every night for the rest of my life. And I'm like,
That is very
okay.
true.
Yeah, that is true because you kind of like if you're when you're living at home for like a while and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden when you're out on your own, you know. But however, though, there's a lot of parents that do a good job at making their kids, you know,
For sure, but
fend-
you have to
fend
think
for
about
them.
it
Yeah,
every day.
but yeah, it's a difference when it's just like a couple nights a week versus like every single day. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Because I remember, I think I would call it just like the magic fridge. When something ran out, it was just always there again like a day or two later.
Yeah.
I guess
Oh.
it just shows up. And I knew my parents were doing that stuff, but it didn't really click like the routine of that is
Yeah.
involved.
I would say that's probably my least favorite time of the day. I don't like to stop. Like eating is nice and stuff like that, but like also like I want to do other things. I want to relax and stuff like that. Can't really do that. You know what I mean? Like if you gotta go get food and stuff. I don't know. I mean, it can be nice, but it can also be an annoyance. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other problem. Of course, the one that always comes up is how to like file your own taxes and stuff like that, which is debatable because I did actually learn about that in high school. Because I took a co-op class that dealt with, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So that actually taught me.
Who remembers that, Ben?
I don't know, but like I feel like that is an important thing to know. It's how to file taxes. If we all have to do it, if it's law, I think that's something everyone.
I think how money works and doesn't work
Yes.
is an extreme failing of a lot of people. And just as a side note, what's the other to do? Hashtag rant. I think that, because Pete Davidson the hashtag?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people take advice from people that don't actually excel at what they're giving advice on.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people that teach you anything about money, most of them are really bad at it to begin with.
Yeah.
It's like me giving like basketball lessons to people. I don't think I'm qualified in that area at all.
Yeah.
And a lot of these high school teachers that might touch on it, most of them are probably paycheck to paycheck also.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't make enough money to even.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually if they're just telling you the stuff that they made mistakes on.
Yeah.
It's
Sure,
like,
yeah.
that was a mistake you made. I mean, it makes sense, like, that's something to look out for if that was a mistake that you knew you made, but it still doesn't really help you
Because if you
how to do better.
If you want to be rich, wouldn't you listen to people that are rich and not people that are not rich?
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want to take, like, that's from anything, from in any field, if you want to take baseball lessons, it's better to take lessons from someone that's played baseball before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, no doubt, that's a good point. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think money is just a big one because owing, saying owing $3,000, that's a lot to owe. But if you only have $3,000, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like
With interest and everything, yeah.
it's just medical debt. I would say medical debt because that stuff piles up so fast. Because they don't tell you what you're going to be paying when you're in the ER. They don't tell you what your tab's going to be. That's one thing I wish. I mean, you kind of always knew, but you didn't really think about it.
And speaking of the ER, I think something that childhood over prepares you for is your chances of being on fire as a person. Don't stop, drop, and roll, which I'm sure is very effective, but you grow up thinking, I might catch on fire someday. You never catch on fire. Things around you might, but you're not going to be on fire.
Hopefully.
Right.
Has anybody ever known anyone who's been on fire?
No.
No.
I know. They really hyped it up to where this is definitely going to happen to you one day, so you better be prepared.
Yeah.
You better stop, drop, and roll.
Maybe house fires were more of a thing when they
Maybe.
started that program.
Maybe, yeah. That's good. Yeah, that is possible.
Maybe so.
Maybe.
That's a good point. Historical context of that might be more of a thing.
I'm just glad so far I haven't had to deal with it.
Right. I want to be on fire.
But Alicia Keys, that girl's on fire.
And she keeps on falling too.
That's a 1-2 right there.
Okay. All right. We ready for the next question?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The next one. Okay. This one made me laugh. Where are all the free drugs that were talked about in middle school assemblies?
I did them in high school, man.
What's that?
Were they
I
all
did
free?
them in high school. A lot of the time.
I guess the running joke is here. I guess someone that wants to partake in this. I guess the joke is that they can't find free.
They're I thought it
They're
was gonna be
super. Yeah.
way more drugs. Than
Right.
Yeah.
But I think they were more along the lines of if you get offered to them by a friend that's trying to peer pressure you because they, I think that's what they were talking about. But I don't know. You have a take on it?
I do. I think this is one of those things that so many things when you become a parent,
Mm-hmm.
all those things your parents told you that said, it'll make sense someday when you're older.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense as a kid. It makes sense older. Like the circles that you hang out with.
Yes.
Like me, I don't honestly think I've been offered drugs one time in my life. You're like, yeah, square Tyler. That's probably so. You called me a square before.
I know.
Exactly. And I bet you guys have been offered. I've never been offered drugs once in my life.
Yeah, but you know what? How many times have you OD'd on anything? None. So, or any, what I'm saying?
Me neither.
Me
man.
neither. But your chances are zero the less you. I feel
Yeah.
like it's more important now. It's coming from a parent. You know, because you hear all the time in the news about people getting sick, ODing, and
It's
stuff like
terrible.
that. It's a problem. And, you know, we have like fentanyl and stuff like that, and they could put that stuff in almost anything nowadays. And you never know, your kid's in with the wrong group, gets offered one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking, like, yeah, maybe there aren't any free stuff out there, but I feel like it's still a good thing that you want to tell your kid that, like,
Oh, definitely. I talk to Donald about it all the time.
exactly.
And like being a square, like I don't mean it in like a negative way.
I don't think you do, but I
obviously-
that probably
It does
by
have a
many
neg-
people's standards.
Yeah, it does have a negative undertone to it for sure.
But I don't
Yeah.
like that's not what I personally mean because I'm like you did a good job. You made the right choices, you know. So yeah.
Yeah.
How old do you think you were when you were first offered free drugs or ever offered free drugs?
Oh, if we can include like cigarettes, like 12. So
Like
Yeah.
more legal type drugs? Because cigarettes, I mean, are legal for
yeah.
at least adults.
I was 13 the first time I smoked marijuana. And then 15 when I drank. And then it was just other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a chick, so
I think do you guys ever think about the historical shifting of things? So for example, you look at movies of like 30-ish plus years ago, maybe 20 some, people smoked everywhere all the time. And that was just very much accepted. It's like kids inside offices all the time everywhere. And then you look at how, like, say, the last 20, 30 years have progressed where it's less acceptable to smoke cigarettes and more to do things like marijuana. Our states are legalizing stuff. It seems like such an interesting change. And someone like, oh, you don't do that. And like, but then you just like smoking next to your baby.
Yeah.
And then something that changes
Yeah.
is that it's an interesting, like, those people would think, just wait, 30 years, this is not going to be okay like it is now, but this is going to be much more okay.
Yeah.
Like, what a strange way these things
Yeah,
work out.
it's
Who could
such-
have predicted that?
I know. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it is just such a change.
what is it? The psilocybin, the mushrooms, or no. Yeah, you can microdose mushrooms. Like that's a new thing, newer
Yeah.
for the scientific community. And then also
For scientists, it's a new thing.
like ecstasy. What else do they call it?
Man.
Is there something like
Like
Molly, which is like
That's-
one of the club drugs, right?
Yeah, Molly's similar to ecstasy,
It is,
right?
yeah. It's like what I know that I don't know if it's true. It's a more pure form, and it's not necessarily in a pill.
There's a little part of me that always think, man, it'd be cool to do cocaine. I've never been anywhere close to it.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. If anything, if there is a drug that looks cool to do, it's probably that one.
Movies
But
make it look like it'd be awesome on cocaine.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
awesome.
I don't think it's as.
But you know what though?
straightforward
They
as that.
always do it though, and they always do a good job to let you know that character is really spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
Like they're really like in a tough time, and then it always, towards the end of the movie, it all comes back and bites them, and you know what I'm saying? It's kind of a, I don't know.
It's one
That's
of
that's how I take it.
Yeah, it's funny how they make it look glamorous and
Yeah.
cool.
They make it look, yeah, it's like so cool and glamorous, like it looks fun, but then as the movie progresses, all that just comes back and haunts them and just like ruins their life. I don't know how accurate that
Drugs
is.
will do that.
I've never done it, but I mean, I believe it. Pretty.
Well, I think a lot of things you build a tolerance to when you do them. So naturally, you have to seek out more. Whether it's something simple like caffeine or whatever, like you just build a. That's one thing. I think the characterization of caffeine is fascinating.
Yes.
In the same way, because it is like a drug and a stimulant.
Yeah.
And if someone like it's like, hey, cute and fun, like not before coffee or not before I have my morning coffee. What if it's like not before my morning Coke? Like,
Yeah.
that would
Right.
really
Yeah,
get
I
a
feel like-
reaction.
Sugar, coffee, or caffeine or anything, but also cell phones. Cell phones, like cell phones are so early on and stuff like that. We don't know what the studies are going to show 30 years from now, what effect it had on our brains. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
because it's so early on and stuff like that. But I definitely think cell phones are an addiction.
Oh yeah.
You know, there's people that can't go 5 minutes without looking at their phone and stuff like that. I feel like that's probably right now. I would have to say that's probably #1 addiction in the world. That's just my
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
take.
I agree. It's a pretty bad one.
But anyways, anybody else on this one?
I don't know where this one started.
Oh, well,
I don't remember.
it was just all about free drugs at assemblies.
Oh, the free drugs.
Which we pretty much stated at the beginning that that's not really what. At least I don't think that's what they really mean. Because I think what they really mean is when you get offered to them by your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was what they're talking about.
Yeah, you don't just be walking down the street and somebody's like, "Hey, you want this bag?" Like, never.
Yeah, I never understood it that way. I never took it that way. So, but it is kind of funny though. They're like, someone's like, where are all these free drugs at?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So moving on. Okay, so the next one is you can eliminate one invention from history to change the world forever. What do you eliminate?
One invention
That
from
would
history.
completely change the world.
What? Probably something bad.
Yeah. I
If you look
yeah.
at the scale of things that are bad,
Yeah.
Nuclear technology.
weapons, right, come to mind.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, because isn't that like a lot of the wars? They're always like worried about nuclear war. Like,
We just put sanctions on North Korea.
yeah, like we're possibly like, oh my gosh, they might nuke us. So it's like we have nukes because they have nukes, and it's so forth and so forth. So it's like you take nukes out of the equation, that might change the scale of how we operate.
Yeah, Iran is not supposed to have
Mm-hmm.
nuclear technology right now, but they are getting into it. It's a whole wild thing. Nuclear. No one should have nuclear technology.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, especially like, does it make sense? Like, you hear about weapons, like weapons, most of the time are meant to like devastate and kill and stuff like that. But like, to create a weapon that could not only wipe out your opponent, but also wipe out yours too, or wipe out yourself, doesn't sound like a smart strategy. No.
I think it was during like the height of the Cold War. They said there were so many nuclear weapons on the planet, you could have destroyed the whole Earth like 5 times. Like,
it's probably more
what is
now.
the point of that?
Yeah.
You know?
For like, yeah, all for like what, $1 trillion of oil or whatever resources that we're fighting over.
Don't look up.
And then at the end, you're just
Look
kind of
up.
like, is that even worth it? Should we destroy the world for this?
Mhm.
Like,
Some people would say yes.
yeah, which is sad.
It's disgusting.
I'm not in supportive of it. I'm not supportive of it, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of other things. I'm trying to think of some lighthearted things like pop-up ads. Pop-up ads are annoying. I hate those. Or yeah, like you're
Well,
trying.
it's just advertising.
Yeah, true. But I'm trying to think of something lighthearted that annoys me.
Sure. Okay.
But if they didn't have pop-up ads, they would just have a technology to where it just burned it to your screen.
Can't
Can't
get
think
out
of
of this.
anything lighthearted. I'm trying to think of lighthearted
that would
things.
change the world. Oh, intersection cameras, or just cameras in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's a big one. Like security cameras.
How about if you were to take away the invention of lines?
Lines?
People are standing around like, what do I do next? Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
You
in the
like
movie one time. Like I invented the line.
Then maybe people will zipper merge.
Yeah, they need to zipper merge.
That's legit.
We were just talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
How zipper merging is so much more effective and people don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cuz you got like a half-mile long line. You got this JASS. We're going
Are you
up
one of the
this
people
side.
that gets mad about that?
Yeah.
You know what? They're making it faster for you and for them, right?
Well,
They're
yeah.
cutting in line.
No, they're
No.
not. You're one of the people that is part of the problem.
No, I know.
Because let's
If
get
we-
back real far and let's wait for 2 miles in the slow lane.
Yeah.
If we actually would do that, that would be great.
Everybody
I
did it.
understand
Yeah.
it's
But
not
the thing is though,
Lead by example,
is
Amanda.
you
if you
have
want them to do it, you got to do it yourself.
No.
Yeah, is that you have 2 different people. You have people that are trying to zipper merge and 2 people that are just trying to like be nice and just get
They
over.
think they're being nice and
Yeah.
making it worse for everybody.
They're not trying to zipper merge. They're trying to get to the front of the line. That their
Well,
intention is not
Yeah,
to
the
zipper
little
merge.
thing is though, like if everybody just came up, and everybody was just kind of like,
Yeah.
but everybody would have to be in sync for that, and unfortunately, we're just not.
People can't even do traffic circles, let's be for real.
Yeah.
And like to go back to the zipper thing, everybody would have to be on board like as you go to the DMV and they talk about it, because
Yeah.
even semis will block the crazy, I think,
Yeah.
the jerks like from zooming up to the front. Like, you ever see that on the highway? Like, the semis will be like, stop. And then at the end, they'll merge back over. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I admit, I do cut up at the last second.
Oh my gosh.
But everybody should be you stay in your lane until the merge happens.
Yeah. And then when you're at that point, be nice to let the person over, or
because that's your lesson right there. If you don't like people doing that,
Yeah.
then be the people to stay in that lane too, because they have nowhere to go then. Then both lanes would be equal.
Yeah.
I would not let you in. I would stay this close to the person in front of me so you couldn't get
That
in.
happens once in a while.
And
you gotta smell weakness, like if someone doesn't accelerate fast, they just pop right in there.
Exactly, that's why I'm staying that
Yeah.
close. Because of people like you, Tyler.
I'm the problem.
Cheating the life.
I always do. I'm very bad. I always do the cut, where I kind of cut into the other lane. I'm not fully in their lane, but I'm in their way, so they can't. So
I do that too.
So they have to let me over. So you're either hitting me or you're letting me over. It's one of the two.
Do you have any experience driving in like big city traffic?
Like downtown or like
downtown, like
highways,
like
or?
LA, Chicago, New York, anything like that.
I've driven through Atlanta. Atlanta was probably the most and like Birmingham.
Like people are nuts, like cutting in, like if you leave a little bit of a gap, don't they pop right in there?
Yeah.
Like cab drivers have their reputation.
I would say the worst traffic I've ever been in was probably Atlanta. St. Louis gets a lot of traffic, but it's nothing like some of the bigger cities.
Yeah.
So I think
Washington D.C. driving through there is horrible.
I would imagine.
Well, and they say there because they're always closing roads, because like some quote unquote important person, like a politician, they'll just shut down 2 lanes of traffic so they can drive their one car through. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's all those people with various clearance and security concerns. They're just always shutting stuff down.
That's crazy. Makes sense though.
Yeah. Do you think like just with the car accident, when they block like 1 lane of traffic, then suddenly stuff is all backed up?
Yeah.
It's just routine. That's why I was taking my helicopter.
Wish I had a helicopter or something. I don't know. I don't like driving through big cities unless I'm going somewhere far. But then you can plan it ahead of time. Like if you leave early enough, you can beat the traffic and stuff. I'm definitely one of those kind of guys. I always try to plan things ahead.
It's a bad thing. Beat the traffic.
Yep.
Good. Get the road early. Beat the traffic.
Okay. All
I
right.
got one more, right?
Yes. One more.
Oh my goodness.
One more question. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So this one is: you can have $1 billion, but you can never get drunk again. Are you still interested?
Yes.
Why not?
Of course.
Yeah, I think you need to be drug tested if you say no to this. Why would you turn down $1 billion? I mean, I get it. Like, a lot of people drink. It's like it's a depressant, make them feel better and stuff like that. But like, $1 billion can get you a lot of therapy and get you a
And
lot.
not to mention, to get drunk is different than enjoying like a drink.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
You're like, man, I just really want a beer.
Yeah.
That's not, for most people, that's not getting drunk.
I've been blackout drunk probably 10 times in my life, and I hated every single bit of it.
It's the worst.
It is the worst. I don't know why. That can really ruin your weekend. Like, cause like, yeah, like you have a really fun Friday night, but if you get blackout drunk, that's like, you could be in bed all day Saturday, and then have to recover Sunday, and then you're back at work on Monday. It's not good.
And you don't remember, like, from a certain point on, and that produces so much anxiety the next day. Because you kind of feel like a piece of shit. You know what I mean? You're like, gross. Why did I do that? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, then you're like, man, like, you're questioning, did I make the greatest of choices, or what did I even do last night?
What did I look like at the
Yeah,
end?
and then people will bring up like, hey, last night you did this. And
Like, how did I get here? I had one that happened one time.
Yeah.
I woke up on somebody's couch. I was like at a campfire on, I think it was New Year's Eve, and I think I had too much to drink. I was like passed out by like 9, and just woke up on somebody's couch. I don't know how I got there. My car was outside. Somebody told me they drove me there like asleep in the passenger seat. Yeah, I did not function behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But like, there's nothing worse than that feeling of the ceiling spinning. Like, you just think it's just like constantly spinning.
I haven't had that too many times.
Oh, dude, that makes me vomit
For
nonstop. Sure. And then when I have nothing left, I dry heave. Dry heaving is worse than throwing up. It's worse because at least you get the satisfaction of throwing up if something actually like it's actually resulting in something. So you feel like you're getting better.
Yeah.
Dry heaving, that can go on forever and ever, and you don't feel like you're accomplishing anything.
Your head starts throbbing and you're like sweating. Those are the worst times ever.
Yeah. That's why, like me, like I know, I know you're not supposed to do this because they're like, oh, the whole, you're trying to get drunk fast or whatever. But me, I'll have like a bottle of water. Like between drinks, like I'll have like a lot of water because that really helps you out later on.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
dehydration is a big component of the feeling hungover.
Because they say that's where, because of course when you're alcohol, it's like a diuretic. It causes you to pee more frequently. You're emptying your
can't
bladder.
break the seal, because once you break the seal, right, it just never stops.
Yes, and then it's just because really is your body just needs water. It needs fluid. And it's lacking that, and then that's where the issue lies. But that's why, so I don't get like a mad, stupid hangover. I just drink a lot of water. Well, now I just don't drink at all. So,
Or if you never stop drinking, you can't be hungover either.
Right.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you can
The more
make,
you know.
yeah, because you can build a tolerance. Like veteran drinkers, people that do it more times, they typically don't deal with this. I don't think, but. I don't know. People like me that never drink but then do, that's the problem.
Do you know, there's a quote, which I have to paraphrase, I don't remember the exact quotes, but Frank Sinatra, he said that, he has like some quote, that he felt bad for people that didn't drink because when they woke up in the morning, that was the best they felt all day.
I get it.
Interesting to think about.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, but anyways, $1 billion though is $1 billion. There's a lot. Unless you're talking about me giving up my family or something, like there's not too much I wouldn't give up for $1 billion.
I think
I
a
know
lot
for
of
$1 million.
I think a lot of husbands and wives would give away their husband or wife for $1 billion.
Yeah,
Maybe.
get a divorce. Sign me up.
I mean, heck, if I get a cut of that. But anyways, there's easily, I'm taking the $1 billion.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking is fun, but it's not that fun. It's not $1 billion fun.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all I have.
Okay.
So that wraps up I Read It Online by TFP Supplies. Thank you for watching, for listening. See you next time.